So I've been talking about this for a while. It is very hard to get a non-franchise movie off, even if it gets well received. It doesn't really matter what Rotten Tomatoes gives it or the critics, because it doesn't really matter. Because a non-franchise movie is always going to make less money. Of course, we already known that for a while. If your movie's not part of a franchise, it is gonna be harder to get people to buy it, to get people to watch the movie. And we known that for a while, okay, especially the last decade, where we've seen non-franchise movies, like for example, Inception, do just as well as movies like Toy Story and other big franchise films. Too well, non-franchise films nowadays are basically non-existent in the movie industry. And of course, most of the people's most anticipated movies are going to be franchise films. But there was a lot of movies that I basically turned down or I refused to watch because they weren't franchise films. And I'm sadly I'm gonna stop doing that, of course. Sadly, not sadly, gladly I'm gonna stop doing that, of course. Because it's sad to see original properties and original IPs bomb when, you have Marvel's garbage like the Eternals make money. Even though that movie bombed anyways, flopped as well. As Roland Emmerich claims that Marvel and Star Wars are ruining our industry, it's more than just Marvel and Star Wars. They're the ones that made. But again, they're the main ones that made non-franchise movies not successful. Okay? Look at the 2021 box office. Okay? All you have to do is look at the 2021 box office to see why. What are the highest grossing movies of the year? Okay? I don't think I think only Free Guy is the only non-franchise movie that actually made it in the top 10. I actually predict this year there's going to be no non-franchise movies in the top 10 box office grosses. So this is 2022. Yeah, 2022 is has nothing on so far. But we have 2021's box office. The highest grossing movies of 2021 domestically. Okay, the only non-franchise movie on the list is Free Guy, and that's all the way down at number 10. Okay, because you have four Marvel movies. Okay. You have Venom, which is still a Marvel property. F9, the next, and No Time to Die, long-running franchises. A Quiet Place Part 2, a sequel to the original property that released last decade. Ghostbusters Afterlife, again, that movie is really good, so I think it deserves to be on that list. But the only original property on here is Free Guy, which made money because it had Ronald Reynolds in it. But we go up to 2020. It's again 2020. There was the pandemic, so we can't really go on 2020's box office because there's not very many movies because of the pandemic. So let's go back to 2019. Okay. There have been zero non-franchise movies on the list. It's Chapter 2, sequel to It, Joker, DC, Aladdin, a remake, Spider-Man, Marvel, Star Wars, of course it's Star Wars, Captain Marvel, Marvel, Toy Story, Frozen, The Lion King, a remake, and of course Avengers Endgame, Marvel. Okay, go to 2018 as well. So here we go again. Solo, Star Wars, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Marvel. The Grinch is based off it is basically another remake of The Grinch, another version of the same IP. Mission Impossible, another Mission Impossible movie. Jumanji, sequel to Jumanji, the previous one. Deadpool 2, sequel. Marvel. 2018. Okay, and some non-franchise movies did do well, but none were in the top 10. 2017. Okay. Same thing here. Star Wars, Disney remake, DC, Marvel. It was based off a book. You could technically consider it a new franchise, but again, there was a 90s It movie, and it's also based off a very popular Stephen King book. So, for Ragnarok, Marvel, this Big Ol' Me sequel, Logan, and another Fast and the Furious movie. Okay, and 2013 was not a good year for the box office either. 2016, we had Zootopia. That was the last time a non-franchise movie got into the top 10 highest grossing movie, and the sequel F for Pets, and both of them were animated movies. So, what about the non-animated movies? Because the rest were all sequels, were all, big franchise movies here. Mostly Marvel, DC, and stuff like that. So 2015, The Martian was the last time. And American Sniper was the last time. Actually, American Sniper was a 2014 movie. But The Martian was the last time, and American Sniper. 2015 was the last time where non-franchise films like The Martian and American Sniper stood a chance against Star Wars, Marvel, Jurassic Park, and all these big names in Hollywood. Okay. 2014, Big Hero 6 and the Lego Movie were, again, the Lego Movie is based off, of course, Legos, but it was still a new franchise to the film industry. And Big Hero 6 being the only two ones that were non-franchise films. Okay, can you go back and back and back? Technically, I can technically count it as a new franchise considering we're counting Martian was based off a book as well. But, it had a movie in the 90s, so I didn't really count it. So Gravity was an original movie, and I think that was it for that video. And Frozen, which was an animated Disney movie. Well, back in the day, back in the early of the decade, non-franchise movies. Okay, 2012. Brave, Ted was actually one of the highest grossing movies of 2012 in America. Ted, Brave, The Hunger Games, all new franchises to, of course, Hollywood. All new franchises to Hollywood. And 2011, you can go back. Most of these are all these are franchise films, but there was kind of like a big year for franchise films. Basically, so many sequels. Actually, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is this reboot. And we'll go back to 2010. We have Avatar, which was technically a 2019 movie, and Inception, and Despicable Me and How to Train a Dragon, all non-franchise movies. So Roland Emmerich is right. Even if you don't like his movies or his films, he is right. Marvel has basically kind of ruined the film industry. Non-franchise films do not really stand a chance anymore at the box office. And now everybody's trying to become the new movie franchise. Now everybody's trying to become the new Marvel. Okay. Here. And this is 2022 so far. Again, there's no movies coming out. There's no movies, so we have it this is the 2022 boxes. But I think later on the year, what movies are gonna show up? All franchise movies, all Marvel, DC, Toy Stories right here and stuff like that. No, rest of smaller movies that are not gonna make any money. So that's basically about this video. Goodbye.